Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-477-1462, 800-477-1462, 800-477-1462.
Live from Upper Lafayette, this is ESPN 1037 KLWB Carencro Lafayette, KLCJ-FM Oak Grove Lake Charles 1041, a Delta Media station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
LSU's baseball season came to an end yesterday after losing 3-1 to Auburn in the SEC tournament last night. With the loss, LSU holds a final record of 30-28 on the year and finished 9-21 in conference play. The Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns won an absolute thriller yesterday against Coastal Carolina, 12-11 in the Sun Belt tournament. The Cajuns were up 7-0 before Coastal battled back to tie it. Then after a short rain delay, UL moved back out to a 5-run lead. Then in the bottom of the ninth, Coastal put up a 4 spot and had the tying run 90 feet away from scoring but couldn't bring him in, securing the win for Louisiana. Now the Cajuns will play tonight against Texas State at 7:30 p.m. McNeese baseball will be in Beaumont, Texas this afternoon to take on Lamar in the Southland Conference Tournament Championship. It's a best-of-3 series for the Southland title, and first pitch in Game 1 is at 6 p.m. tonight at Vincent Beck Stadium. The Minnesota Twins beat the Houston Astros 4-1 yesterday afternoon to take the series victory. Houston will now have an off day today as they head over to Wrigley to take on the Cubs this Friday. The LSU men's golf team and UL's Milan Potgieter will be headed to the NCAA Championships in Carlsbad, California. The championship rounds will get underway May 29th at the North Course at Omni La Costa. And LSU football announced it would be bringing back former head coach Ed Orgeron to serve as a special assistant to recruiting and defense. Coach O has coached under Coach Kiffin at numerous stops throughout their careers and was most recently let go by LSU in 2021 after a 6-6 season. I'm Blake Purser, and you're listening to ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, your home for the LSU Tigers and the Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you. Dynamic duos are nothing new to Louisiana sports fans. Breeze and Colston, Burrow and Chase. And here in Acadiana, we have our very own dynamic duo.
You're beautiful.
It's the big, bald, bearded, and beautiful one, Raymond Parch III.
I'm sexy and I know it.
And the man with the best head of hair in sports talk radio in Louisiana and Mississippi, James Meche. Here is RP3 and Meche on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Welcome in to a Thursday edition of RP3 and Meche as we broadcast live from inside the Beal and Bear studios here in Upper Lafayette. Beal and Bear, Acadiana's hometown lawyers. I'm the big, bald, beautiful one, Raymond Parch III, better known as RP3. I'm joined, as always, by the producer extraordinaire, the LAB award winner, and the man with the best trash stash in sports media in the states of Louisiana and Mississippi, James Meche. Good day, sir.
Happy Thursday, Raymond.
Happy Thursday, buddy. We got a tremendous show. It was condensed yesterday because of Astros baseball, but we got a full 2 hours for you, and we're going to deliver the goods. We have not one, not two, but 3 tremendous guests lined up for you on this Thursday as we get closer and closer to the holiday weekend. Memorial Day, of course, is going to be Monday. We will be off the air in honor of Memorial Day. So we got plenty to get to. So we got 3 guests for you today. Jamarcus Fitzpatrick from KATC will be joining us to talk all things Louisiana Region Cajun. Then at 12 o'clock, the Mad Dog, Ron Higgins. He'll put a bow on that LSU baseball team season, talk about the latest news involving the football team. We'll get to that as well.
Is there anything big that happened? Any former coaches returning?
It's just all the fired coaches, all the personalities. It's like a reality television show come to life at LSU these days. We'll talk all things purple and gold with Ron Higgins at 12 o'clock. And then at 12:30, our good friend from the Lake Charles American Press and also the host of the podcast, Jim Cozzolo, will join us to talk all things McNeese, put a bow on the softball season, and look ahead to baseball. They're playing in the championship series of the Southland Conference Tournament starting tonight over in Beaumont, weather permitting, of course. The bad weather that is just wreaking havoc across the southeastern United States is not optimal for conference tournaments. And, it's not our friend. Not our friend. So those are the 3 guests that we have lined up for you today. And you know they're going to deliver the goods. We're going to try to deliver the goods as well. We're going to talk a little Western Conference Finals in hour number 2 as well. We have our poll question of the day, which we'll be unveiling here in a little bit. But let's just go ahead and jump right in. It's time for today's special.
The fellas can't help with your lunch plans, but they can serve up the top stories of the day in bite-sized pieces. Time to order up today's specials here on RP3 Meche, presented by Southwest Volkswagen, located at 6184 Johnston Street. Order up.
Conference tournament baseball. 2 teams that we cover were playing in games yesterday and yesterday evening into late last night.
It wasn't as bad as the night before.
No, not as bad as the night before. Shout out to that. We had 2 teams that were still playing for something, and now we only have 1. And really, you could say that we only have now 1 in McNeese. Let me explain. Where would you like to start off, James Meche? We want to start off with the Cajuns, or do we want to start off with the LSU Tigers?
I say we start with LSU.
All right. Their season has come to an end, as we somewhat expected. They were able to beat a team below 500 in Oklahoma late into the night on Tuesday. Last night's game against Auburn, who is by way a better team, a better baseball team, and a team that looked very determined. LSU fell. They haven't beat a team in conference play, haven't won a series of a team that's above 500. That's the type of season it is. And that's the type of season it was, because it came to an end in the second round of the SEC tournament as the Tigers / Plainsmen / War Eagles / Identity Crisis, that is Auburn, defeated the defending national champs 3-1. That ends LSU season with a 30-28 overall record. It puts the cap on one of the worst seasons in about 15 years or so.
I was going to say, looking back at the records, I didn't see more losses in a previous season in SEC play than I did this season. 22 losses against SEC opponents.
That's a program high. Second most conference losses in team history was previously 18, and that was set back in 1978, the year I was born, by the way. So that's been nearly 50 years. Not a great season.
No.
It's mercifully finally come to an end. One of the biggest disappointments of modern LSU, one of the biggest disappointing seasons in baseball program history. And it just puts the cherry on top, so to speak, of what has been a disastrous men's sport athletic year for the purple and gold.
A bow, a cherry, a poetic ending, however you want to describe it.
However you want to describe it, football team was under 500 in SEC play. Brian Kelly got fired. Then there was the whole soap opera drama with the governor involved. Then there's men's basketball, where Matt McMahon and company didn't get the job done again. And they had a losing record in SEC play again. And he gets fired. Well, Brian Kelly was replaced with Lane Kiffin, which makes everyone happy here in Louisiana, in the Baton Rouge area, or all the people that at least root for the Tigers, or at least root for sound bites and chaos.
Drama.
Then they turn around and they hire Will Wade to come back. Yes, they had already fired him. He's back.
Welcome back.
They also added a coach on his staff that had already been fired as well by LSU.
Welcome back.
Jay Johnson's not getting the axe. He literally just won the national title last year. He's won 2 in 3 years.
Despite some people commenting on some of our content saying that he should be.
Yes, because as I've said over and over again,
it's insane.
LSU baseball fan, Alabama football fan, Kentucky men's basketball fan, they're all the same. They're all crazy. They all believe that every year their team should be competing for national titles. And when they're not, they're ungrateful and they're upset. And they believe the coach needs to be fired and everything needs to be burned to the ground. They're the most irrational fans in the Southeastern Conference. Alabama football, LSU baseball, Kentucky basketball. They're all the same. Do I expect big changes this offseason? I think many of you are expecting seismic changes for Jay Johnson. I don't see that. I think they're going to be very more selective on who they bring in. I think there's going to be more of an emphasis on getting the best high school players and have them not take the signing bonus money. Because, look, every year LSU loses guys that they recruit and that sign national letters of intent that get drafted by Major League Baseball teams, and because their signing bonus is like $750,000 or $1.2 million, they don't come to school because they don't need to because they have generational wealth. So that'll be the battle again. But I would expect a better on-the-field product. And look, last night's game was the epitome of, they got a decent pitching performance last night, right, James? But then the defense was awful.
I was going to say,
again,
the blunders that have plagued LSU baseball this season definitely reared its ugly head once again. Because, not Zach Cowan, Kason Evans was last night's starter, and he was absolute money for him. It's just because of how low-scoring a game it was, the little things definitely played a huge factor, and he had a couple runners on base in the 5th inning. And then Jack Ruckert, who started to get more playing time as the regular season ended, he ended up making an errant throw to third base, which was off by about 10 feet to the left, and it ended up scoring a run, which at that point put LSU down 2-1. And with how cold LSU's batting lineup had gone, they might get one runner on base, but outside of that, there wasn't much going on outside of the one run that they scored in the 4th. So that errant throw by Ruckert basically forced Jay Johnson's hand to make the switch from Kason to Ethan Plog because it was a lefty-on-lefty matchup against one of Auburn's better batters.
It was. And look, Auburn is clearly the better team.
Yeah, they were supposed to win anyway, but
you get decent enough pitching from your staff, which hasn't always been the case, and that's when you have the defensive blunders and your lineup can't drive in runs. It pretty much epitomizes how inconsistent this team has been all year. Because the frustrating thing for Tiger fans is that a lot of those series that they lost and those games that they lost, they were winning. They just let get away from them. Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, Georgia. Go down the list.
The Georgia one was very specific.
If they would have just been a cohesive unit in 4 or 5 more games, they probably win those games. They probably win a couple more series, and they're probably going to the NCAA regional.
And we have a completely different outlook about this team.
That's what it is.
Like,
now,
even if they were meh in the infield instead of just god awful,
they were awful.
Just
terrible.
We would be looking at LSU as a much different team and be going into postseason play.
Correct. Now, as LSU season came to an end, the Louisiana Raging Cajuns ensured themselves that they'll be playing in the postseason. In a wild game there at the Sun Belt Conference Tournament in Montgomery, home of the Biscuits, they take down Coastal Carolina for the third time in a week. They beat the Chanticleers 12-11 on Wednesday afternoon there at Dabos Park in Montgomery. The win sends the Cajuns to the winner's bracket of the tournament and significantly boosts their chances of receiving an at-large bid to the NCAA regionals. I don't think it significantly boosts. I think it all-in ensures. I've been saying that they've been in for a while. You look at the most updated projections, even Baseball America, who had them as a first four in situation, now has them clearly in the field. They're not going to get hurt by RPI of any of the teams they're going to be facing. They just took the national runner-up. They took 3 of 4 from them, essentially. Now, this was a wild game. Absolutely bananas game. Coastal started Luke Jones on the mound. He had a rough first inning, hitting 3 straight batters and allowing a sac fly by Colt Brown to give the Cajuns a 1-0 lead, but he was able to limit it to just the 1 run. Andrew Herman took the bump for the Cajuns. He had a 1-2-3 first inning, keeping that lead intact. But this was an interesting game. The Cajuns added 1 more in the 4th to make it 7-0. Okay? You had the big 3-run homer that opened things up to give Louisiana a 6-0 lead there in the 3rd, I believe it was, right? The 2nd or the 3rd. So they're cruising. They're up 7-0 on Coastal Carolina, and you're like, this game's over. They held a 7-0 lead into the 5th inning. But this is why we played the games.
This is why you can't talk too early.
3-run blast by Walker Mitchell cuts it down to 7-4. In the next frame, Coastal completed the comeback as Pato, who had a solo home run the previous inning, hits a 3-run shot this time, ties it up 7-7. So that 7-run lead is now gone. Disappeared. But credit the Cajuns. They regain the lead in the 7th, scoring 3 runs before a rain delay slows the tempo of the game. Mark Collins, former Opelousas Catholic quarterback, by the way, also star baseball player, obviously, made it 10-7 with a couple of RBIs there right as the delay came in. After the delay, Brown and Donovan LaSalle got the Cajuns' bats going again. They each tacked on RBIs in the 8th frame, extending the lead to 12-7, which was good because they needed it. Coastal got to the bullpen and made it 12-11. But Parker Smith entered with the tying run at 3rd and just 1 out. He immediately got a strikeout, and then the Cajuns went to Hayden Pearson to look for the final out. The freshman obliged, inducing a ground out that allowed UL to hold on for the 12-11 victory. Cajuns scored double-digit runs for the second time in 2 days at the Sun Belt Conference Tournament. They only scored double-digit runs 3 times in 30 regular season conference games. So when the bats needed to generate runs, they've done so. I think this is a lock now. They're going to face Texas State. That game has been pushed because of the weather, so that's going to be played tonight. I don't think it matters from here on out. They're firmly in. Now, of course, Matt Deggs' team would love to win the Sun Belt Conference Championship. They're not going to go out there and say, oh, we're good now. Don't forget, Texas State swept them during the regular season. They would like to avenge that and move on. But Raging Cajuns, for me, I've been saying it, they're in. Like, the RPI is now ridiculous. It's not going to take a hit moving forward. It's just not.
Yeah, definitely feel good about it. And not only that, something about Montgomery that's gotten those bats alive. They've been killing it as of late. And I'm going to be honest, when I was watching Tyler Pappenbrock be on the mound in the 9th inning, and I saw him give up those first few hits and then a run gets on the board, I'm like, okay, Coach, I think it's time to take out Pappenbrock. And then he stayed out there, and then he kept staying out there, and he kept giving up more hits and gave up the 4 runs in the 9th. And I was like, please, Coach Dex, just take him out. Please just take him out. It's a 1-run game when you were up 5 going into the 9th. Please do not blow this. And then thankfully he did. And Parker Smith and Hayden Pearson, like you said, went out there for the final 2 outs. And I was like, oh, okay. Sigh of relief.
They're going to be a dangerous team. I expect the Cajuns to score 12 runs in an NCAA regional? Of course not.
No.
Of course not. But they are heating up at the right time. The pitching has looked good as well in stretches. And look, for a team that had a little bit of a lull there, for them to be able to bounce back the way they have to put themselves in an NCAA regional is kind of phenomenal. We got to take a timeout. When we come back here on RP3 and Meche, we're going to unveil our poll question of the day. It's about the big news that dropped late last night. We have a story about it at ESPN SouthwestLouisiana.com. A certain former Tiger has been hired because we're hiring all the coaches that LSU has fired. Going to keep going, collecting them like infinity stones. We'll unveil the poll next.
Today's specials here on RP3 and Meche, presented by Southwest Volkswagen, located at 6184 Johnston Street.
Southwest Volkswagen, it's where car buying is made easy. Upfront everyday pricing and transparency from start to finish. Massive inventory of both new and used cars. And when I'm saying used cars, I mean World Auto certified pre-owned cars and SUVs. Southwest Volkswagen has the great selection that you and your family have been looking for. They're proud to be Acadiana's only Volkswagen dealership, and they're just a short drive from Lake Charles as well. Just hop on I-10, make your way over. You will not regret it. Once again, buying your next car feels simple at Southwest Volkswagen right here in Lafayette. Go visit them today at 6184 Johnston Street right here in Lafayette.
Do you need more of the fellas here on Southwest Louisiana's sports station? Of course you do. So go make sure and subscribe to ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles YouTube channel at ESPN_SWLA. Don't forget to turn that bell on so you get notifications for new episodes of 4 Tire Change Podcast, where Dawson Iserloh talks all things NASCAR, or Cleats and Sneaks with James Meche. Get yourself more of Southwest Louisiana's sports station at ESPN_SWLA on YouTube.
May is Military Appreciation Month, and ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles and Nolan's Lawnmower Sales and Service in Carencro will be honoring our military all month long. Nolan's is locally owned and supports our military community every day. We honor and salute because freedom isn't free. May is Military Appreciation Month, and we salute you. Powered by Nolan's Lawnmower Sales and Service in Carencro and ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles.
Tax season doesn't have to be stressful. Not with Black & Gold Tax Service in your corner. Conveniently located on Main Street in Broussard, we offer in-office appointments and virtual consultations. You can upload your documents to our secured portal, and we offer secure digital drop-offs. Members of the Better Business Bureau, we proudly serve South Louisiana in all 50 states with integrity, expertise, and personalized care. Visit blackandgoldtax.com and let Black & Gold Tax Service make taxes easy. Black & Gold Tax Service, where accuracy meets Acadiana pride.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Louisiana Army National Guard. Aired by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Every weeknight, MeTV has your laugh therapy.
To chase away the blues or the olive drabs.
With 2 hours of MASH at 5.
This guy's ankle has tickled my funny bone.
Followed by the Andy Griffith Show at 7.
Doggone it, Otis. He's supposed to be hugging me when I'm arresting you.
But he likes you, Bart.
Weeknights on MeTV.
Watch MeTV Acadiana on KLWB, over the air on Channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
Do you know a veteran in need? Nation's Finest, through the VA's Supportive Services for Veteran Families program, helps veterans and their families struggling with rent, employment, and other housing-related costs. Today, Nation's Finest operates more than 30 locations in California, Arizona, and Nevada, helping thousands of veterans every year. Visit nationsfinest.org or call 1-833-468-9676. That's 1-833-468-9676.
You're listening to ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles. Your home for the best local sports talk in Southwest Louisiana.
Go Tigers. Of course, Coach O, as you probably have seen at this point, he is now back with the LSU football team officially as a part of the staff. He'll be mainly a recruiter on the road, and then also will just be a part of the defensive line when it comes to the coaching staff. So, with that news popping up yesterday evening when LSU baseball was going down and, really going down, losing Auburn.
Special assistant to recruiting and defense for the Tigers.
There it is.
That's your official title that LSU has unveiled, that Coach O, the man who they fired and paid a lot of money to go away, is now back on staff. His third time on staff, by the way, and his fourth time in BR. He was a freshman football player back in the day out of South Lafourche High School. Got homesick, went back home, ended up at Northwestern State to play and be roommates with his high school buddy, who he played football with, Bobby Hebert. So that was his first time, and then he came back as an assistant coach under Les Miles. And then he took over as interim coach, and then he became head coach. Hold that, Tiger. Go Tigers. Became a phenomenon. Had the greatest season in program history and maybe in college football modern history at least, if not all time. And then promptly, if we're being fair,
burned it to the ground.
He promptly ran the program right into the ground. Like, took the car, the brand new Lamborghini, and took it and put it right into the ditch.
I was going to say, he ran it over the cliff into the ocean.
And then just looked around and was like, yeah, what up?
Oh, you're going to pay me for this? Okay, bye.
And lots of stuff went down, right? His lady friend being at practice, photos being posted on social media that probably shouldn't have been posted, taking too many victory laps about winning the title and not
photos
recruiting.
Got leaked.
Photos got leaked. Having outbursts with fans and administrators. It didn't end well for O. So much so that they're like, hey, here's a bunch of money, go away. Less than 21 months after winning a national championship and having the greatest season in program history.
And then after about, 6 months of not getting paid by LSU, he's back on the staff to get paid again?
There it is. There it is.
Interesting.
There it is.
It's so funny.
The final buyout payment was back in December, and now the man has found a way. Now, he and Kiffin have a long-standing relationship that goes back to their days on staff at USC. And they both were coaches for Pete Carroll at the University of Southern California during the beginning of that dynasty era that they had in the early 2000s. So they had a relationship starting there. I believe O also had a relationship with Lane's father, Monty Kiffin, one of the best defensive minds that pro football's ever seen. And then in the glorious one season that Kiffin spent coaching the Tennessee Volunteers, Ed O was on his staff there. So they are familiar with each other. They are friendly with each other. You're bringing him on to essentially be your recruiter. Because of the new rules, he can go recruit during the season for you. While Lane is preparing to play games every week, he can just go send O on the recruiting trail, pack him up an ice chest filled with Red Bull, and say, get after it. So that's essentially what's happening here.
You welcome to LSU. You get one of these nice rings.
Yes, exactly. But that leads us to our poll question of the day. I know how the purple and gold faithful are going to vote on this. But go ahead and unveil it, Mr. Meche.
Absolutely. What do you think of LSU hiring Coach O back? Do you love it? Are you okay with it? Do you actually despise it? Or do you just not care? Awesome.
That's the BP special. I don't care.
Even in an LSU-themed poll question, he still got don't care.
Yeah, it is.
I would say leading the way, I can't give you votes, but from what I do see, it looks like Loving It is doing pretty well in the standings. Okay with It does have some love as well.
Okay.
It's gotten a few votes. Same thing with Don't Care. But as far as I see, it doesn't seem like there's many people going with despising the move. I would say I'm okay with it. I still have gripes about how everything ended and how easily he just turned it in the wrong direction for LSU, which prompted LSU to hire Brian Kelly to try and stabilize it. But I'm not against it. I don't love it. I think for the position that he's in, it's absolutely the correct way to go. I'm just always of the mindset I don't love when relationship on a sour note and then all of a sudden you bring him back, especially how soon when it came to monetarily.
But this is now what they're doing at LSU.
Yeah, I mean, you get the bands back together.
It's not even that. This is what it boils down to. And I'll go to look. I voted I don't care because I don't care.
Or you're not an LSU fan.
Correct. What this tells me is that regardless of perception, regardless of what national media may think, regardless of what local media may think, regardless of how things ended, regardless if things were done in an illegal manner, or remember there was only 36 scholarship players on the roster when Brian Kelly took over. They also were being investigated by the NCAA. There was a lot of things, right? None of that matters. LSU is telling you that this is the new world order of things. And they're telling you they don't care. That's what it basically boils down to. You hired Lane Kiffin, you poached him while his team was trying to be in the playoff. That became a whole big drama. You got the governor involved. You brought your brain trust over there to run everything based on what he would like it to be. You just don't care. Then you bring back Will Wade, and you bring back a bunch of other coaches. You don't care. Now you brought back Coach O. You just don't. The only thing they care about, and what many of you only care about, and I respect it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not against it.
I'm not saying you're wrong in it.
The only thing Verge Alsbury is telling you that he cares about, and that Wade Roos cares about as the president of the university, the only thing they care about is putting together people that can win and win big. That's all they care about. Because they are fully embracing, and we can call them villains all day long if we'd like. They're just fully embracing the role of this is the new world order of things. We buy players, we buy coaches, we're transparent, we're petty, because the only thing that matters, nothing else matters. Not tradition, not morals, not doing things the right way, not being a soap. None of that matters. We will absorb all of that if we get to hold up a championship. They're running it like a professional sports team.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it is now in BR. And that's what everyone else is going to do if they want to keep up. Whether you like it or not is kind of irrelevant. LSU is just letting you know that they're running things like a professional sports team, not like college, not anymore. This is what it is. Got to take a timeout. Keep those votes coming. Keep leaving your comments as well. We'll share them later on. Some of you have already, about half a dozen of you have already commented, which we love to see. We got to take a timeout. When we come back, we're going to shift gears. We're going to talk all things Louisiana Raging Cajuns with Jamarcus Fitzpatrick of KATC. That's next.
This is RP3 and Meche live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit B1Bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
LSU's baseball season came to an end yesterday after losing 3-1 to Auburn in the SEC tournament last night. With the loss, LSU holds a final record of 30-28 on the year and finished 9-21 in conference play. The Louisiana Raging Cajuns won an absolute thriller yesterday against Coastal Carolina, 12-11 in the Sun Belt tournament. The Cajuns were up 7-0 before Coastal battled back to tie it. Then after a short rain delay, UL moved back out to a 5-run lead. Then in the bottom of the ninth, Coastal put up a 4 spot and had the tying run 90 feet away from scoring but couldn't bring him in, securing the win for Louisiana. Now the Cajuns will play tonight against Texas State at 7:30 p.m. McNeese baseball will be in Beaumont, Texas this afternoon to take on Lamar in the Southland Conference Tournament Championship. It's a best-of-3 series for the Southland title, and first pitch in Game 1 is at 6 p.m. tonight at Vincent Beck Stadium. The Minnesota Twins beat the Houston Astros 4-1 yesterday afternoon to take the series victory. Houston will now have an off day today as they head over to Wrigley to take on the Cubs this Friday. The LSU men's golf team and UL's Milan Potgieter will be headed to the NCAA Championships in Carlsbad, California. The championship rounds will get underway May 29th at the North Course at Omni La Costa. And LSU football announced it would be bringing back former head coach Ed Orgeron to serve as a special assistant to recruiting and defense. Coach O has coached under Coach Kiffin at numerous stops throughout their careers and was most recently let go by LSU in 2021 after a 6-6 season. I'm Blake Persher, and you're listening to ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, your home for the LSU Tigers and the Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you. ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles is the proud winner of 4 2026 LAB Prestige Awards, including Best Use of Digital Media, Foot's Friday Fury, Best Live On-Site Remote for our Super Bowl Radio Road coverage, Best Promotion for our No Shave November initiative, and Radio Young Professional of the Year for Dawson Iserloh. We're proud of being Southwest Louisiana's sports station and are humbled to be recognized by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters.
It's 9 a.m. You just received a voicemail from your boss.
Hey, Janet. Heads up. We got an important meeting coming up Thursday. The big guys are coming into town, so I need you in charge of lunch, and we've got to look good.
Luckily for Janet, she knows a place, and she knows her boss will be impressed.
Honey Baked Ham can cater your next event. Delicious and freshly sliced deli trays, box lunches with sandwich, chips, and dessert. Or try our fresh salad boxes, and the perfect touch with a meat and cheese tray. Honey Baked Ham Company.
Looking for a spotless workplace? Variety Janitorial Services is your go-to. For office cleaning to stripping and floor waxing and carpet cleaning, your commercial space will look its best. Their reputation for perfection has grown throughout the entire Acadiana community. They deliver top-notch service with a commitment to excellence. Daily, weekly, or deep cleaning, trust the experts. Visit varietyjan.com today or call 337-298-8704 for a free quote. Variety Janitorial Services. We clean, you shine.
Where there's smoke, there could be an electrical fire. Up next, from Mr. Electric. You know, every 18 minutes, an electrical fire strikes one U.S. home. Here are a few things to keep yours from being the next victim. First, inspect cords every month. Replace the frayed and the cracked ones right away. Never overload outlets or daisy-chain power strips. Also, keep cords away from rugs, heat, and water, and use GFCI outlets in kitchens and baths. They'll trip fast and stop shocks.
If you would like to learn more, visit MrElectric.com.
So you think you may have electric problems, but you just don't know what to do next. Here's Sean Dore with Mr. Electric.
So one of the benefits that you have with Mr. Electric is our home safety check. Checking electrical components in your home, you can actually prepare for any future hazards that could come. We try to expose those things.
For your free safety check, call Mr. Electric today or see us on Facebook.
We are the soldiers of the Louisiana Army National Guard. We are your neighbors. We are your sons and daughters. While we serve part-time, we are learning valuable life and job skills. We are earning money for college, for trade and technical schools, and for certifications. We are proud to serve both our country and our home state. We are your Louisiana Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the Louisiana Army National Guard. Aired by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Here we go. Let's head around the state we call the Boot to find out what's happening at the collegiate athletic programs in Louisiana. This is Campus Check-In. Today, we check in with the Louisiana Raging Cajuns.
And we do so with our good friend from KTC, Jamarcus Fitzpatrick joins us now. Jamarcus, good day to you, brother. How are you?
We're all good on this end, fellas. How y'all doing?
We're doing well. Okay. When we spoke last week, you surprised me by stating, because I said, hey, if they win the Coastal Series and win like a game or two, or maybe just one game at the conference tournament, I believe that they would be in. And you were like, RP3, my man, no, you're wrong. You're not listening to me. They got to go and not only beat Coastal, then they have to go win the conference tournament. As it stands right now today, do you still feel the same way?
A lot of projections are saying that they are in. My personal opinion is always just don't leave it to chance, right?
That's fair.
Leave it up to the committee to potentially say, well, you lost, like say today they lose to Texas State and then get bounced out in the loser's bracket to whoever is left in the tournament. You don't want to leave it to them potentially saying, well, you lost these last two games, so we're going to leave you on the outside looking in. So I think they've done enough, logistically speaking, but if you win the whole thing, it didn't hurt because you steal a bid that is in there because I think based on the latest projections, there may be like 4 teams from the Sun Belt that are in, but I was just looking. D1 Baseball has them going to the Auburn Regional as the 3 seed, and then Baseball America has them going to the Gainesville Regional as the 3 seed. So good locations to potentially be in. But I still feel like, man, just win it all and just don't worry about anything or sweating anything out. But I think you have done enough to be able to get in at this point.
What's impressed you more than anything about what you've seen out of this team ever really since the UNO loss, right? Where they turned around, they go on the road, they take 2 or 3 from App, then they come back home, they take 2 or 3 from Coastal, and now they've won 2 games of the conference tournament, scoring double-digit runs and beating Coastal now a 3rd time. What has stood out to you?
It's been the bats, man. I mean, just these last 2 games that they've seen, they've scored, I think, 23 runs in the last 2 games, which is the most that they've done since they lost to Troy and then won against Grambling somewhere in the middle of April, if I'm not mistaken. So the bats are extremely hot now. I was telling somebody this on Facebook or Instagram somewhere. I was responding to a comment. There's not going to be every single game that they play that they're going to get 10-plus hits and 10-plus runs. But if they can continue to get early enough offense, like, all right, we get hit by a pitch and then, we get a walk batter, we got to drive both of those guys in if it's in the first inning. So it may be scoring 2 runs in the first, 2 or 3 in the third, and then being able to sit on a 4-0 lead, 5-0 lead down the stretch and win the game 5-2 or 6-3 or 7-2 or anything like that. Now, if you can continue to be as hot as they've been, keep swinging the bat. Like, I'm not saying be less aggressive. Keep swinging the bat if you can keep hitting it and finding good spots in the defense to be able to attack them. But my point being, I don't think that it's just going to be the common thing that we're going to see them win games 12-11 and 11-1 and 13-2. I don't think that that's going to continue to happen in the postseason. If it does, great. But if they can continue to keep early offense, then that's going to be the recipe for success for them, along with the pitching that's been great for them. And it seems like it's syncing up at the right time.
How surprised are you that, this team started off strong and even Deggs was telling us, hey, yeah, we're ranked in the top 25, but, he was kind of warning all of us in the media and the fan base, pump the brakes a little bit. We still haven't really earned anything. And they went through that midseason lull. The sweep against Texas State stands out, right, where you go, oh, that's a low point. But they've been able to turn things around. How impressive has it been to see this team rally, especially with, even having a couple of injuries down the stretch?
Yeah, it definitely has been. I think that he knew that he had a very youthful team, and having young players comes with growing pains. Sawyer Pruitt, Cole Brown, Blaze Rodriguez, Noah Lewis, like all of those guys have been phenomenal, and they've all been all Sun Belt freshmen of the freshman team members, and that's rightfully so, but it came with some growing pains in that middle part of the season, and he knew that was coming. It's been impressive to see them develop and grow. They're no longer little freshmen coming in anymore. They are fully rolling into being veteran, pretty much sophomores at this point in the season with the amount of baseball that they've played, whether it's extra innings or the amount of starts that they've had here in the 2026 campaign. So that's what's been so impressive to me is how well they've developed. I mean, you think about Colt Brown, like he was probably not going to be your penciled in, catcher to start the season. That would have been Jose Torres, but things happened with him and his injury, and Colt Brown has to be your day one starter. And he talked about that after the game yesterday, saying that, Jose's been in his ear and guys have been encouraging him, and he's been a huge piece for you, not just defensively, but also with his bat as well. And just being able to see those young guys step up and really be impactful players has been the thing that's made this second half run be so successful.
We're talking with Jamarcus Fitzpatrick of KATC and the Raging Rundown podcast, talking Louisiana Raging Cajuns for our first campus check-in of the day. Jamarcus, continuing with the baseball team, I'm curious about yesterday's game. After the delay, you saw them respond and get those extra hits to jump up to a 5-run lead hanging into the ninth, but I'm curious from your standpoint. I was talking about how nervous I got with Tyler Prappenbrock in that ninth inning. What about you and your reactions?
Yeah, some of the relief moments was a little bit rough. Sawyer Pruitt got thumped around a little bit there in those middle innings, I think right before the rain delay, and then you bring in Prappenbrock to kind of get you going. But then the last two, you have Parker Smith to come in and just get you out in that moment. And then Hayden Pearson going lefty, being able to slam the door shut. Hey, he's a freshman too, and he's been exceptional for you as well as kind of a bullpen guy to be able to come in and come up and step up in big moments like what he did. So that's going to continue to have to be something where you can't let things kind of get as close as they are against really good teams, not allowing leads to slip away. That's been something that's happened quite a couple of times for this team this season. I think if they can continue to keep their foot on the gas in instances like that, that they're going to continue to keep playing good baseball, it's just going to be a matter of letting everything sync up together and then continuing to play well as an overall team that's going to keep them, going throughout the season.
How do you feel about tonight's matchup with Texas State, who we thought this was going to be earlier in the day, but because of the weather over there in Montgomery, they had to push all the games back later in the day? Yeah,
I mean, you are one swing of the bat away from potentially winning game one of that series earlier in the year, 1-0, because you were up 1-0 in the eighth inning, and then you have a couple walk batters, you load the bases up, and then a grand slam happens, and you lose the game 4-1. And then obviously the final two games, like they beat you on Sunday, and then things were, because you felt a little down about that Friday loss, you get thumped around a little bit in the Saturday loss, and you lose that game 2. So you were swept in that game, but this is a completely different team in the instance of what they've been since that last series loss. So I would say that this is going to be a very interesting matchup. I think that we'll see Ty Roman running out on the bump, because you saw Friday starter Cody Brash go Tuesday for you. You saw Andrew Herman go last night. So I'm assuming that Ty Roman would be the guy to go for you, because if you win this game, you get a day of rest, and then you can kind of figure out what rotation, whether that starts over with Cody or maybe you save him for the championship game. We'll see how they manage that depending on what happens tonight. But I think if Ty Roman can continue to give you starts that he's done similar to the way that he's done in these past couple of weeks, and your offense continues to click early, then I think that's going to be a great recipe for the Cajuns to advance to the semifinals, get a day of rest, and then be playing for an opportunity to play in the Sun Belt Championship game.
Who are you looking to have a good offensive game tonight to help win against those Bobcats?
Yeah, right now Noah Lewis's status is up in the air. I'm trying to figure out whether he's going to be available or not, because people have been asking me whether he would be playing. I would say that he is somebody that truly is going to be needed. If he is available to play, he's going to be needed. If it's not him, then I think it's Maddox Mendino, because, somebody in the outfield or there in the center field area, defensively, they're obviously going to be important, but the way that Coach Diggs has been using those guys in the lineup, they've been either 1 or 2 or somewhere in the 9 hole. It just depends on how he flip-flops the lineup. I think that Blaze Rodriguez has been a great table setter for you when he gets on base, whether that's having great plate discipline and being walked or waiting for the right pitch and being able to get on base. But then they've also been somebody that can drive in runs, because I think it was maybe Tuesday when they got that big win against Marshall. Mark Collins was in the 9-hole. He was having several hits for you, and then you come back around to the top of the lineup. Here comes Blaze Rodriguez. Here comes Maddox Mendino, and they start driving in runs, and it creates chaos for the opposing defense. So I think those will be some of the guys that we're going to be expecting to have great offensive showings and that need to have good offensive showings for them to be successful in the game against Texas State.
Jamarcus, we appreciate you coming on. Keep up the tremendous work you're doing over there, covering the Louisiana Raging Cajuns for KATC and the Raging Rundown podcast, and we'll get you back on next week, all right?
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
We're going to go ahead and take a timeout. When we come back, we'll wrap up hour number 1 of RP3 and Meche. Right after this, you're listening to ESPN, Southwest Louisiana Sports Station.
This is RP3 and Meche, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles have teamed up with John Well Therapeutic Services to bring awareness to mental health. Glenda at John Well Therapeutic Services is a licensed professional counselor providing individual therapy to adults. She has over 15 years of experience working with clients in a variety of settings. Whether you prefer in-person sessions or the convenience of telehealth, support is available across Louisiana. Book your appointment today by visiting Psychology Today and searching for Glenda Johnwell. Southwest Louisiana Sports Station and John Well Therapeutic Services are proud sponsors of Mental Health Awareness Month, because your mental health matters.
ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles is your home for the Houston Astros.
And the Astros stun the Mariners.
Hunter Brown, Yordan Alvarez, and the rest of the Astros are looking to get back to the postseason. You can listen to every pitch, hit, and thrilling victory of the Houston Astros.
Incredible!
As Robert Ford and Steve Sparks will be on the call. Tune in this season for live Astros baseball on Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
New tax resolution firms are popping up every day with high-paid celebrity endorsers advertising ridiculous claims in their TV ads. That's why they have the tiny, unreadable disclaimers at the bottom of the screen. Hi, this is Kerry Bryson with the Bryson Law Firm. Our ads never have those ridiculous, fast-talking, tiny disclaimers at the end because, simply put, there are no guarantees when it comes to the IRS and wiping out tax bills. And we don't make promises we can't keep. Of course, there are ways the Bryson Law Firm can help resolve your tax debt, but no company can guarantee it will eliminate it. This is why their clients call the Bryson Law Firm when those promises don't pan out. If you have tax problems, you have legal problems. Call the Bryson Law Firm. Our headquarters are in Lafayette, and we have offices statewide. Or visit BrysonLawFirm.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Bryson Law Firm. LSBA filing number LA2518447.
Before hitting the road, get hooked up at Match Trailers on Bertrand Drive. Everything you need from truck equipment, accessories, and trailer parts, Match Trailers has it. Match Trailers, 1849 Bertrand Drive in Lafayette, or give Matt a call at 235-7534.
Did you know you can get great tasting Clear Springs artesian water delivered to your office or your doorstep at home? Clear Springs is 100% local with their own bottling facility at the world-famous Kentwood Aquifer, no chemicals added. Just pure Kentwood, Louisiana artesian water. Clear Springs Water offers delivery of 5 or 3 gallon water service with a hot and cold temperature water cooler, or even single-serve bottles delivered to your home or office. Easy to reach, clearsprings.net, then contact us tab, or 337-519-3563.
Whether it's a tempting text message or a quick glance at your GPS, taking your eyes off the road for just a moment can have serious consequences. This includes turning around or reaching down. Distracted driving includes eating or putting on makeup. Distracted driving is anything that diverts your attention from driving. I'm Lorraine Luquette Vinoy with Service Chevrolet Cadillac, encouraging you to drive smart, drive safe, and keep those eyes on the road, Acadiana. This message is powered by Service Chevrolet Cadillac and this radio station, where safety meets style on the road.
Delta Home Center and Delta Trailer Sales, your one-stop shop for utility and cargo trailers. Heavy-duty dump and gooseneck trailers, portable buildings, cabins, decks, porches, fences, carports, and site-built metal shops. Located at Exit 7 in Carencro or at deltatrailersales.com.
Just let it shine through.
One is known far and wide for his luscious head of hair.
We just wash the hair. You know, I work on my hair a long time.
The other wishes he still had his. Back to more RP3 and Meche.
Oh, man. Our guy from Bluebell Ice Cream came by this morning. And they have released a new summer flavor just in time for the holiday weekend, James Meche. Black raspberry fudge.
Whoa.
Ice cream featuring a sweet, tart black raspberry base blended with dark chocolate chunks and a rich fudge swirl. Mouth's watering just thinking about it. It's currently available in half-gallon and pint sizes at most retailers, but only for a limited time. So when you're going out to get your stuff for the barbecue that's going to be held over the weekend or on Monday for Memorial Day, make sure to get you some of that new Bluebell Black Raspberry Fudge. It's only going to be in stores for a limited time. While we have a couple minutes here before we wrap up hour number one, how about we get to sharing some comments on our poll question of the day, sir?
Absolutely. For our poll question today, we had asked you on Facebook and on X, what do you think of LSU hiring Coach O? Well, guys like Ralph says, it's a home run hire. Recruiting and defense are O's wheelhouse, and you get to annoy Ole Miss a little more. How about them Tigers?
There it is.
JBK says he loves it. In the context that he's the Walmart grader or the Dalmatian on the fire truck, I bet
It's a great comment. Sorry.
I bet everyone under the roof gets it but him. Kai says he's okay with it. And then also, Ton sent a gift from Futurama saying, oh, wait, you're serious? Let me laugh even harder. So, Ton, I'm not sure that Ton is all the way in on this based on this comment.
I think you're going to utilize him exactly how he needs to be utilized, and that's recruiting. Mm-hmm. With the rules changing, he can now recruit. It's going to make it easier for them to recruit, and you have someone who is great at that. We can talk about him being good at, coaching up defensive line. That's what he's typically done in his career, right? We can do all of that. That's fine and dandy if you want to say that. And he does know defensive line. What O's specialty has always been is recruiting. He's the one that sealed the deal on getting Joe Burrow here, right, to LSU. He's the one that went and made the pitch. He's gotten a lot of good players, great players in his career down at Miami when he was under Jimmy Johnson and Dennis Erickson, helping them win national titles. At USC, helping Pete Carroll win national titles. At LSU, helping LSU win national titles. So the guy knows recruiting. And there are going to be families and coaches and players that are going to absolutely have Coach O come and talk to them and recruit them. As long as that's what his role is, I don't see a problem here. But man, lots of personalities on campus. You got Lane Kiffin, Coach O, Kim Mulkey, Will Wade, all on campus at the same time.
Collecting infinity stones.
Just some big personalities, Kat. Big personalities. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with having a big personality, but whew. And those are all individuals that when you put a microphone in front of them, as a sports information director or an assistant sports information director, many times you are plagued by anxiety waiting to see what's going to come out of their mouths. I'll say this. LSU's not going to be boring. That we do know. They're not going to be boring. Will they be winning championships? Maybe. But it's not going to be boring. That's for sure. Keep voting on our poll question of the day. Keep leaving your comments on Facebook and on X. Hour one is in the books. Hour number two, we'll kick it off talking Tigers with our buddy Ron Higgins, the Mad Dog. That's next.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Looking for your next firearm? Come visit Louisiana Gun Shop in Broussard. We've got financing options, 12 months same as cash, plus layaways up to 90 days. With a wide selection of new and used guns, we've got something for every budget, big or small. Have an old gun collecting dust? Trade it in or turn it into cash. Need parts? We've got the largest selection of AR-15 components in the area, from springs to grips and buttstocks. Explore our ever-changing used inventory online at LouisianaGunShop.com. Louisiana Gun Shop, your one-stop shop for firearms and more.
It's the Cajun Heartland State Fair.
LUS presents the Cajun Heartland State Fair, May 22nd through 31st at the Cajun Dome. Back in action, the Louisiana Wrestling Alliance, Lafayette's #1 wrestling promotion, presents its biggest show of the year, Heartland Heat 2, Saturday, May 23rd in the Cajun Dome Convention Center. VIP and reserve seating tickets are available for purchase now, online, and at the Cajun Dome box office. It's the 38th annual Cajun Heartland State Fair, May 22nd through 31st at the Cajun Dome. For fair hours, tickets, and more information, visit CajunDome.com.
The Cajun Heartland State Fair. Go, 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 go. Fun, fun. Go, 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 go. Fun, fun. Go, 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 go. Fun, fun.
Live from Upper Lafayette, this is ESPN 1037 KLWB Carencro Lafayette, KLCJ-FM Oak Grove Lake Charles 1041, a Delta Media station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit B1Bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
LSU's baseball season came to an end yesterday after losing 3-1 to Auburn in the SEC tournament last night. With the loss, LSU holds a final record of 30-28 on the year and finished 9-21 in conference play. The Louisiana Raging Cajuns won an absolute thriller yesterday against Coastal Carolina, 12-11 in the Sun Belt tournament. The Cajuns were up 7-0 before Coastal battled back to tie it. Then after a short rain delay, UL moved back out to a 5-run lead. Then in the bottom of the ninth, Coastal put up a 4 spot and had the tying run 90 feet away from scoring but couldn't bring him in, securing the win for Louisiana. Now the Cajuns will play tonight against Texas State at 7:30 p.m. McNeese baseball will be in Beaumont, Texas this afternoon to take on Lamar in the Southland Conference Tournament Championship. It's a best-of-3 series for the Southland title, and first pitch in Game 1 is at 6 p.m. tonight at Vincent Beck Stadium. The Minnesota Twins beat the Houston Astros 4-1 yesterday afternoon to take the series victory. Houston will now have an off day today as they head over to Wrigley to take on the Cubs this Friday. The LSU men's golf team and UL's Milan Potgieter will be headed to the NCAA Championships in Carlsbad, California. The championship rounds will get underway May 29th at the North Course at Omni La Costa. And LSU football announced it would be bringing back former head coach Ed Orgeron to serve as a special assistant to recruiting and defense. Coach O has coached under Coach Kiffin at numerous stops throughout their careers and was most recently let go by LSU in 2021 after a 6-6 season. I'm Blake Persher, and you're listening to ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, your home for the LSU Tigers and the Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit B1Bank.com to find a location near you. Dynamic duos are nothing new to Louisiana sports fans. Breeze and Colston, Burrow and Chase. And here in Acadiana, we have our very own dynamic duo.
You're beautiful.
It's the big, bald, bearded, and beautiful one, Raymond Parch III.
I'm sexy and I know it.
And the man with the best head of hair in sports talk radio in Louisiana and Mississippi, James Meche. Here is RP3 and Meche on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Hour number 2 has arrived on this Thursday edition of RP3 and Meche. I'm the big, bald, beautiful one, Raymond Parch III, better known as RP3. I'm joined inside the Beal and Hebert studios here in Upper Lafayette. Beal and Hebert, Kitty Anna's hometown lawyers, by the producer extraordinaire, the LAB award winner, and the man with the best trash stash in sports media in the states of Louisiana and Mississippi. We boldly proclaim that. And soon-to-be Yogurt U champion, James Meche. Hour 1 was good. We tackled some things. We recapped the action on the diamond for our college teams last night. UL gets their 3rd win against a top 25 ranked Coastal Carolina team in a week's span, as they now have scored double-digit runs in back-to-back Sun Belt Conference tournament games over there in Montgomery. They'll be playing Texas State tonight in a winner's bracket game. Remember, the Bobcats swept the Cajuns. That was during the low point of the season. Matt Deggs' team, can they keep on this run? It feels like they are firmly in the NCAA regional field. The latest projections have them firmly in. Not first 4 in, no, or last 4 in, or whatever it is. No, they're firmly in now. But they're looking to go and win in a conference championship, so we'll see what happens there. LSU season, meanwhile, as we recapped, came to a merciful end last night in Hoover as Auburn eliminated them from the SEC tournament. We'll talk more about that, as well as the LSU softball team, who, by the way, just mowed down the competition in the Baton Rouge Regional. Gets a little bit tougher as they take on number 1 seed Alabama in the Super Regional over there in T-Town. We'll talk about that, as well as Will Wade and his roster of professional basketball players, and now Coach Ed Orgeron returning to LSU. And we'll do all that with the Louisiana Sports Hall of Famer, the award-winning columnist and reporter from the Shreveport-Bossier Journal, a man who is building up a resume on film and television sets as the most reliable and compelling background player possibly in modern times. Ron Higgins joins us now. Mad Dog, good day.
Hey, Raymond, it's Coach O. How you doing, baby? Hey, Ron's on a Walmart run. Let me tell you, I learned how to be in the background from Ron. I mean, I watched him on film, and I kind of blended in. Except when I went to a beach, I love the flex. I love the flex, friend. I love it. But you know what happened? My knees hurt so bad, I can't run anymore on the beach, and so I just have to flex in bars. You know, I got tired of that. And I called Kif. I said, Kif, give on Coach O a job. And, you know, I offered him offensive coordinator when I was here. And he didn't take it. And I took that as a personal affront. But, you know, I got over it, and what I said, I need the cash. What can I say?
Oh, bravo. Bravo, sir. Bravo.
Thank you.
I just... it's the 3rd coach that they have fired and have paid to go away that they've brought back into the fold. It's absolutely phenomenal. It makes sense, especially with the loosened restrictions on recruiting these days, that Kiffin, who obviously worked alongside O under Pete Carroll at USC and then had O work underneath him for that one glorious year in Knoxville, that he would reach out and just add O and go recruit. And, you know, they have to increase the Red Bull budget, but it makes a lot of sense from that standpoint, right?
Yeah, it does. You know, I know I was on campus working some kids that are on the team, some freshman kids. So I guess, and they took video of it. So I guess, you know, I don't know who took video of it, but Ed's kind of wily like that. He'll, you know, he wants to let people know that he's still alive and he's doing stuff. He's coaching. He's coaching the LSU, I guess, freshman or recruit on LSU's practice field. So, you know, the next thing you know, he got, you know, Lane and Big Dad and a Griffin grin saying, you know, he's on my staff. So I thought it was a good addition. Look, the best thing Ed Orgeron does is recruit and teach defensive tackle techniques. He's one of the best at it. And, you know, he's going to teach defensive tackle. He's not going to teach English, you know. He's going to teach defensive tackle, and that's always been his strong point, defensive line, defensive tackle. So it was a good addition. And I don't think he's going to ruffle anybody's feathers. He's there. He's there to. He's still a one-on-one guy. If you ever watched Seattle in practice field when he was head coach, the best thing he liked about practice was getting with the defensive line and getting them in a stance with them and showing them hand placement, all kinds of stuff. And so this is good for him, and again, he's a good recruiter. He can talk to all the mamas and daddies and eat their gumbo, it was a good move. I thought it was a good move. I know people outside Louisiana go, "What the hell's going on there?" I mean, they hired Johnny Jones back, and now they hired Ed Orgeron. I mean, who's next? Mike Archer. So
Les Miles, come on down, huh?
Yeah, I thought it was a good move.
I said this earlier, and I want to get your thoughts on it as someone who's an experienced sports writer and a reporter. It feels like this new leadership in place at LSU, Wade Roos, the president, Verge Alsbury as athletic director, I think they have fully embraced this new world order of things in college athletics where essentially they're no longer college athletics. It is professional sports. We are going to be abundantly clear that we are buying players. We're going to buy coaches. This is what we're going to do. All the things that used to be the facade of college athletics, tradition and student athletes, all that we don't care about. We don't care about hiring people that live in the margins, and push the envelope, because we are here to run a professional sports team, and our job is to win championships and make money. That's what it feels like to me.
That. I mean, yeah.
That's what it feels like.
Look at Will Wade's recruiting. His first practice, he goes, Lottie, come over here, and the whole team's going to come over there. I mean, really. I mean, honestly, yeah. I mean, I almost think like, especially with the basketball, the international people, and all people he's getting, I think he's basically saying to the NCAA, okay, let's test your rules, see if you have any. I mean, what exactly is your rules? I mean, I'm going to sign these guys until you tell me I can't. The only thing I could see could rule a guy ineligible, honest to goodness, is if he signs a two-way NBA contract. He's in the G League as a two-way, which means he can get called up. To me, that would make him ineligible. The rest of the guys, if they're drafted and they don't make a team, or they didn't go to camp, or they might go to the summer league, and then they go to Europe, to me, those guys are eligible. They never played in the NBA, and obviously you can accept money and be a professional now. I mean, you can accept money. So that's why I think all these European guys are so attractive. One, because they're all good, fundamental good basketball players, and secondly, I mean, why not go get them? I mean, at least for a year, like it's just, I don't know if this would be the norm for Will, but if he wants to compete instantly, this is the way to compete. Go get a bunch of guys who've been in the European league for a long time. And those European guys, they joined those leagues when they're like 17 years old. And by now they're well seasoned. And so, and they're really good fundamentally, and they're good, really versatile. So I could see why he would do this.
Are you surprised by his approach? Because I saw him firsthand. We know what he could do in the recruiting trail. He loses the job. He goes to McNeese, and I saw how he managed that, how he was able to evaluate talent, go get guys from bigger conferences, teams in bigger conferences, give them the opportunity for playing time, blend it all together, and go to the NCAA tournament back-to-back years, which is something McNeese had never done in program history. And then he goes to the NCAA tournament at NC State with the same approach. This approach for the American gangster, Willie the Kid, is I'm going to push the envelope just like I used. It's as if getting back at LSU has reinvigorated the I'm going to push the envelope as far as I can guy by getting G League players and going and getting professional foreign players and just tell the NCAA to go kick rocks.
Yeah, because he's saying, you know what, I got a stash of cash now. I got at least $12 million to go spend. I mean, I bought Naz Reid for a lot less than that. So yeah, I think he's invigorated by the fact that he has a $12 million this thing, and probably increase next year. And he's like, okay, what do I have to do right now to win next year? Well, obviously, I'm hired late. I mean, I'm not high school recruiting. I'm not great on that right now. I'm going to go after proven veteran guys, and I don't care where they're from. And until somebody tells me no, I'm going to keep recruiting. And so this is what he's done. And again, I've always said before, you get a European player, you get a guy who's really good fundamentally, you get a guy who's really versatile. I learned this from the Gasol brothers. They told me this. They said, in Europe, when you're a kid, if you're tall, they automatically box you in like you're a center, you're under the goal. He goes, they teach you how to do ball handle. They teach you to be outside. They want you to be versatile. And that's what European players are. And that's what the American game has become now. And so I like the idea of him going after these people. Again, these guys who are 26, they may have been in the pro league for like 5 or 6 years now in Europe, honestly, because you play that long. So, yeah, he wanted to get veterans, and he's getting them. And all these, blowhards like Jeff Goodman, just shut that hell up. Oh, we'll wait for basketball. Wish he would never come back. I mean, you know what, Jeff? Tough. That's tough. You know what? He's playing by the rules, okay? Those are the rules. The rules say I'm going to get it by all one until they tell me no. So, the Jeff Gibbons of the world, the same people who bellyache about Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin's dead beside football. Well, because he left the school and got more money and wanted to go play coach at a place where he thought he could win a national championship and really, have everything he needed to compete. So I don't get it. I mean, but people are going to hate. They're going to hate. I mean, obviously, Will's going to be Will, and that's why they hired him, to be Will, and Lane's going to be Lane, which is, I think, LSU fans and people trying to get used to a guy who just keeps throwing gas on the open flame, every week with all this, and it's been interesting. It's like people ask me, what is it like that all season LSU? I said, good God, every week there's some kind of hell breaking loose. I mean, now you got Kiffin, Will, and Nolte. It's like the triple threat of close. So I'm glad Will's doing what he's doing and what he's doing it, and I don't care what people think. I don't think he does either.
Well, we appreciate you not cursing, Ron Higgins of the Shreveport Post-Journal. I'm glad you avoided that one. I want to move over to baseball with you, though. We saw their season end last night after losing 3-1 to Auburn, and it feels like the way it went down and how they played these two games in the SEC tournament was exactly how they played this whole year, where they had opportunities to win, but they definitely gave themselves a lot of opportunities to lose with the defensive breakdowns, specifically in the infield. I just want to get your reactions to last night's game and, I guess, the season as a whole.
Amazingly, they pitched well enough in this tournament to win.
Yeah.
That was like the thing, surprising thing. Again, you said that the fielding let them down. I felt bad for Casey Evans last night. He had a pretty damn good game. I thought LSU pitched well in both games. But again, they didn't make the plays when they needed to make them to win games, and that's ultimately the story of this season. I mean, if you go back to the very first SEC game when Gavin Guidry is 2 strikes away from a win and gives up a game-winning homer, that's kind of the essence of LSU's season right there. Didn't get the job done when it was on the line, and they really didn't do that all season. Now he's got to, go recruit, do a much better job in the portal. I think he's got, a good basis of guys who played late in the season with freshmen and Cade and Amaridi, I can't remember how to say it faster. And those guys played really well for the most part, and that's their nucleus for next year. But again, I'm like watching the past 2 games. I'm like, where the hell where's this pitching been? I mean, where's it been? I mean, nobody's paving. Pitching was fine. But again, typical LSU, they couldn't put everything together.
Yeah.
You know, they couldn't protect it all at once. That was the problem all year. Not everything meshed together. One might be good. Well, the pitching was basically bad all year. But, you know, they might hit one day and the feeling's awful, and the next day the feeling's great and not hitting. That's a story of their season. Yeah.
We had the big-time bad throw by Jack Ruckert that went about 10 feet wide left that basically flipped the whole momentum of the game, because otherwise I felt really good about LSU's chances, but after that I was like, there's just no way. But I think another big aspect was the fact that Omar Cerno wasn't in the lineup after gashing his hand getting to home plate in the previous night. If Omar was available, do you feel like that the fortunes could have changed for LSU and they would still be playing on Friday?
Yeah. I mean, he made a world of difference. It's like LSU fought these injuries all year. A guy that interested pop up a guys. I mean, they lost Jake. Lost a pitcher from Kansas who'll be back next year, and to lose Omar at a time where they really, really needed him. I mean, not just as a DH or a catcher, but he's a threat of the plate and always made something happen. So yeah, look, they only lost 3-1 last night, man. I mean, and they gave away runs. And when you see that, you think that you had a chance to win it, and they did have a chance to win it. Yeah, until the wide left throw. Yeah.
Moving over to softball before I let you go, Ron, what do you give LSU's chances after a really strong start in regional play? Looked pretty much unstoppable except for like one moment in the Sunday game against Virginia Tech. They've looked really good as of late. Beth Torina squad has. What kind of chance do you give them in this best-of-3 series against Alabama and Tuscaloosa?
I don't think it's an overwhelming amount of odds they can, win this thing. They just got to keep playing the way they've been playing. I mean, they've pitched well. They've come up with clutch hits. They've made plays in the field. Just go play. Don't worry about where you're playing. And I guarantee there'll be some LSU fans there. But just go play. Don't get intimidated by the surroundings or whatever. Just go play. And I don't know if it's an advantage or disadvantage of playing an SEC team. I mean, I don't think they played Alabama this year. I don't think they did. I don't remember. I don't know if they have or not. But it's like last time LSU and Auburn. I thought it was an advantage that they hadn't played this year. Because those teams hadn't seen each other. But Auburn hadn't seen LSU. I mean, and Jay knows Auburn pretty well. He picked them to win the national championship in preseason, so he thought that highly of them. But I kind of like it when you're maybe playing a conference team you hadn't played because you kind of know them, but they don't really know you either.
Yeah, LSU and Bama didn't play each other in softball this year.
Yeah, and so, that's not like LSU and Auburn. And that was, I went in that game thinking LSU, they're going to play this pretty well because, Auburn hadn't seen them this year and don't have a good image of them. I think, again, I thought LSU played their tail off last night, just made mistakes in the end. But softball, I'm not just counting, man. The way they went to the regional, they just kind of blitzed through that regional. And we'll see what happens now. They're the only team left besides, I guess, the golf teams out there playing national stuff. So
yeah. Shout out to the golf team punching their ticket. But, Ron, we appreciate you coming on. Keep up the tremendous work you're doing over there, covering those LSU Tigers for all the sports and all the news. We'll get you back on next week. All right, bud?
I'm back, baby. Go Tiger.
And there goes the Mad Dog himself, Ron Higgins of the Shreveport-Bossier Journal. We're going to go ahead and take a timeout. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about what happened last night with the Western Conference Finals Game 2 between the Spurs and Thunder. That's coming up next.
This is RP3 and Meche live on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Attention first responders, police officers, firefighters, military and former military personnel. If you have an acre or more of grass to cut, Skag Zero-Turn Mowers would like to thank you by offering you a special discount with their Simply the Brave First Responders program. Save big money on the industry's top-rated zero-turn mower at Nolan's Lawnmower in Carencro. Nolan's can offer well-qualified buyers 0% financing for 48 months. Come by Nolan's Lawnmower at 3547 Northwest Evangeline Thruway and check out the full line of Skag zero-turn lawnmowers.
Are your pipes giving you problems? Is that leaky faucet driving you crazy? Don't wait for a plumbing disaster. Call the experts at Ace Plumbing, your trusted local plumbers for over 30 years. At Ace Plumbing, we do it all. Clogged drains, water heater repairs, pipe replacements, and more. With decades of experience, we deliver fast, reliable, and affordable solutions for your home or business.
Ace Plumbing fixed my burst pipe in no time, and the price was great. They're the only plumbers I trust.
From small leaks to big emergencies, Ace Plumbing is just one call away. We're available 24/7 because plumbing problems don't wait. Call Ace Plumbing today at 337-565-2519 or visit us online at aceplumbinginc.com. That's 337-565-2519.
Ace Plumbing, your personal plumber. Let us give you a hand.
MeTV is America's #1 classic entertainment television network. And here's one of the reasons everybody loves MeTV.
Oh, it's a classic.
The great comedy lineup on weeknights.
This will be fun. Come on.
With Meche.
Loaded with snappy comebacks.
The Andy Griffith Show.
I was just funning with Barney.
And Everybody Loves Raymond.
Now we got a show.
Watch MeTV Acadiana on KLWB, over the air on Channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
We are the soldiers of the Louisiana Army National Guard. We are your neighbors. We are your sons and daughters. While we serve part-time, we are learning valuable life and job skills. We are earning money for college, for trade and technical schools, and for certifications. We are proud to serve both our country and our home state. We are your Louisiana Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the Louisiana Army National Guard. Aired by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters and this station.
ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles is the #1 rated sports station in Louisiana, according to our mamas.
Mama said that. Mama said that. My mama said that. My mama said.
Back to more of our mama's favorite sports station.
We had game 2 of the Western Conference Finals go down last night. Spurs and Thunder. The big question was, how was OKC going to respond after what had happened last night? Because normally, for the road team, to really make sure that it's a series, you have to steal one of those road games between games 1 and 2. And the Spurs did that in game 1. We saw a historic type of performance from Victor Wembanyama going 41-24. And helping them win in double overtime over the Oklahoma City Thunder. There was a lot of question marks about how OKC had done in game 1 and how they were going to respond in game 2, because really it felt like it was a must-win for the Thunder. If you go down 0-2, having to go to the Spurs after what they had done to you in the regular season, the series felt like it was going to be over. The fact that the Thunder did get that win last night really secured things. And I think what had happened last night, especially from an injury standpoint, is going to make things even more interesting for these next handful of games. Because not only did J-Dub go down last night once again, but we also saw Dylan Harper get injured for the Spurs, and they were already down De'Aaron Fox. So the fact that they're now down 2 guards, whereas the Spurs are losing their second, maybe third best option, depending on who you talk to and depending on the series. These injury developments are making this Spurs-Thunder series that was already very intriguing, because this is the matchup that we wanted in the Western Conference Finals.
Correct.
This is just adding more layers to it to really figure out, okay, who's really got and who really deserves it. Because Shea also had a bounce-back game. Shea had 25 in game 1, but it was a lackluster one. The way he played just wasn't his usual SGA self. Last night, 12-24, got to 30 points. Isaiah Hartenstein, I thought that was the big difference in last night's game when it came to a schematic standpoint. Instead of just rolling with Caruso as the guy to guard Wemby, they decided to bring in an actual center like they did before, but this time gave him a lot more minutes. He didn't put up a whole lot of production, but he got really down and dirty, tried to get away with as much as he could, but he did what he had to do to make sure that Victor Wembanyama didn't go off for another 40-point game against him. So I think that's the chess piece that moved from OKC's direction to counter what San Antonio was doing. I'm curious to see what the Spurs do in games 3 and 4 to see if they could mitigate that type of reduction in Victor's production. Because if you're going to lose Dylan Harper and if you're going to lose De'Aaron Fox, because I don't know when De'Aaron's going to come back, if you don't have big-time production from Wemby, who else is going to give it to you? Because Stephon Castle, he's basically been put into, it's basically been a square and a round hole type of situation where he's turned the ball over, Ray. I don't know if you realize this, but Stephon Castle's turned the ball over 20 times in these 2 Western Conference Finals games. He's averaging 10 a game.
It's a ton. It's a ton.
They've had 21 as a team in both of these games as well. So, like I said back in game 1 when the Spurs won in double overtime, you could flip the narrative of, well, if this doesn't go as bad for this team's direction, then the outcome could become totally different. And we saw it last night where the turnovers were there for him in game 1. It's just Victor went off. You had the same amount of turnovers in game 2. Victor didn't go off. And you saw not a dominant performance by OKC, but a good response.
I thought it was a good response. Look, you're still going to have the issues that we've been having when you watch OKC. I didn't watch all of this game last night. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I did because I did not.
I had to go back and forth between them and LSU.
Correct. I was, paying attention. I was flipping channels. Man, like, I know I'm going to sound like the old man.
I can't wait for this.
SGA is such a nice player, a good player.
Okay.
Why does he have to pretend like he's being shot with a 12 gauge every time someone breathes on him?
Oh, you're very much in the crowd of everyone pretty much in the world outside of OKC fans.
Like, you're such a good player, you don't even have to do that. That's the difference. You understand what I'm saying? I think the thing that frustrates people is that he has such a nice game, overall skill set.
He's so good in the mid-range, which people, especially old heads, love.
So good in the mid-range, which us old basketball fans love. I don't need you pretending like you got hit with a shotgun blast, dude. Like,
a nuke hit the floor.
Just play the game, Cat. That's all I need you to do. I understand it's an advantage. I get it. He's figured this out. And look, him getting to he only got to the free throw line 6 times last night. Right? So,
and I think it's been good on the refs to not give him those benefit of the doubts as much.
Correct. They're not, and because it's playoff, the NBA notoriously calls the game differently in the postseason than they do in the regular season. And that's also part of this. But like, just play your game, dude. I don't need you to be extra. They also got 17 last night from Caruso, I want to point out. And I think the key for this series, though, what are the 2 J-Dubs going to give Oklahoma City moving forward? Because they gave them a total of 10 points last night.
Well, like I said,
That's it.
Well, like I said, J-Dub got injured in the first quarter.
Again.
So that's part of the development of figuring out, can they adjust to this? Because we know OKC already struggles against San Antonio, but also from San Antonio's side, losing 2 big-time guards and basically forcing another one into a role that he's not good with, because as we've seen, when he has the ball in his hands too much and has to facilitate, 20 turnovers in 2 games. That's not...
Who's going to pick up the slack if J-Dub can't go? Even if he can go, he's not going to be 100%. So who's going to step up for Oklahoma City? Is it going to be Hardenstein? Is it going to be Dort? Is it going to be the other J-Dub? Is it going to be Caruso? I don't know. But that's the big question.
I would believe A.J. Mitchell just falls back into that same spot, because that's what he saw. That's what we saw last series with the Lakers, was A.J. Mitchell got a bump in production, and you just had everybody else stay in that same type of role.
That's fair. We got to take a timeout. When we come back, we'll bring on our third and final guest on this Thursday edition of RP3 and Meche. Jim Gazzolo, the great one, will join us to talk all things McNeese. That's next.
This is RP3 and Meche live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
LSU's baseball season came to an end yesterday after losing 3-1 to Auburn in the SEC tournament last night. With the loss, LSU holds a final record of 30-28 on the year and finished 9-21 in conference play. The Louisiana Raging Cajuns won an absolute thriller yesterday against Coastal Carolina, 12-11 in the Sun Belt tournament. The Cajuns were up 7-0 before Coastal battled back to tie it. Then after a short rain delay, UL moved back out to a 5-run lead. Then in the bottom of the ninth, Coastal put up a 4 spot and had the tying run 90 feet away from scoring but couldn't bring him in, securing the win for Louisiana. Now the Cajuns will play tonight against Texas State at 7:30 p.m. McNeese baseball will be in Beaumont, Texas this afternoon to take on Lamar in the Southland Conference Tournament Championship. It's a best-of-3 series for the Southland title, and first pitch in Game 1 is at 6 p.m. tonight at Vincent Beck Stadium. The Minnesota Twins beat the Houston Astros 4-1 yesterday afternoon to take the series victory. Houston will now have an off day today as they head over to Wrigley to take on the Cubs this Friday. The LSU men's golf team and UL's Milan Potgieter will be headed to the NCAA Championships in Carlsbad, California. The championship rounds will get underway May 29th at the North Course at Omni La Costa. And LSU football announced it would be bringing back former head coach Ed Orgeron to serve as a special assistant to recruiting and defense. Coach O has coached under Coach Kiffin at numerous stops throughout their careers and was most recently let go by LSU in 2021 after a 6-6 season. I'm Blake Persher, and you're listening to ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, your home for the LSU Tigers and the Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you. ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles is the proud winner of 4 2026 LAB Prestige Awards, including Best Use of Digital Media, Foot's Friday Fury, Best Live On-Site Remote for our Super Bowl Radio Road coverage, Best Promotion for our No Shave November initiative, and Radio Young Professional of the Year for Dawson Iserloh. We're proud of being Southwest Louisiana's sports station and are humbled to be recognized by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters.
Everybody's talking about the big, beautiful bill, and it's game-changing for taxpayers. Hi, this is Kerry Bryson with the Bryson Law Firm. We've read the bill, and if you've been putting off a tax problem, it's time to call the Bryson Law Firm and get it resolved. This new legislation could give you a chance to get things straight with the IRS. Whether it's getting caught up on unfiled returns or negotiating IRS debts, there are a lot of new deductions and opportunities in the big, beautiful bill, and the Bryson Law Firm knows how to use them strategically. We've been staying on top of the tax changes in the big, beautiful bill, and we're ready to help our clients take full advantage. So if you owe back taxes or haven't filed returns in years, it's time to call the Bryson Law Firm and finally resolve your tax issues. Remember, if you have tax problems, you have legal problems. Call the Bryson Law Firm. Our headquarters are in Lafayette, and we have offices statewide. Or visit BrysonLawFirm.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm. The Bryson Law Firm. LSP filing number LA2519079.
You thinking trailers? Think Tibbs. Whether you tug it, tow it, or transport it, Tibbs Trailers is your headquarters for enclosed, flatbed, and hydraulic trailers. You won't find a better selection or a better price than right here. We've got the experts to repair or customize your trailer so it'll be ready for whatever you pull it through. Why would you go anywhere else when you can go to Tibbs Trailers? Now we're talking trailers.
Between Scott and Doosan.
Your Honor, I would like to introduce exhibit number 1.
MeTV is America's #1 classic television network.
There can only be one #1, me.
MeTV features over 60 of the greatest classic TV series each week.
Go with the winner.
Enjoy dramas, comedies, westerns, sci-fi, and more.
You just watch me.
Watch MeTV Acadiana on KLWB over the air on channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
MeTV is memorable entertainment television.
Hi, I'm Nancy Landry. No matter what part of our great state you call home, Louisiana's elections are an important part of who we are. In 2026, closed party primaries will change how some of those elections happen, so you'll want to know what to do. Keeping your registration current ensures you'll get the right party-based ballot. Remember, this change only applies to certain offices. To learn more, visit govote.com or download the GoVote app.
Paid for by the Louisiana Secretary of State's office.
Here we go. Let's head around the state we call the Boot to find out what's happening at the collegiate athletic programs in Louisiana. This is Campus Check-In. Today, we check in with the McNeese Cowboys.
And we do so with a man who covers the McNeese athletic programs for the Lake Charles American Press. He's also the host of the Pokecast podcast. And in some circles in the Lake Charles area, he's known as a hard-hitting journalist that has integrity. In other circles, he's known as just Mr. Adorable. Jim Gazzolo joins us now. Jim, good day to you. How are you?
I'm adorable.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. All right, let's can I ask you a Will Wade question? Is that okay?
You can ask me any question you want to ask me, Raymond. Whether I answer it or not is always the question. But yes, I will answer anything I can.
It feels like he's back at LSU and he's been reinvigorated into seeing how he can absolutely not only push the boundaries of what recruiting and assembling a roster is, but just sticking it to the NCAA and just doing, like, I don't know. It feels like the old Will Wade. It does not feel like the McNeese Will Wade. It feels like the old LSU Will Wade. Your thoughts?
An empowered Will Wade.
Yes.
It seems like. It is interesting. It is wondrously fun to watch from a distance now that I'm not in it. But yeah, it is the needling of Will Wade is back. So yeah, it's a fascinating, and also, by the way, I think it's interesting that apparently anybody who has ever been fired and gotten a buyout from LSU is now getting paid again.
Yes, I can't wait to see Les Miles come on down and be on staff too. Let's just go ahead and bring them all back.
Bring them all back. Bring them all back.
Just bring them all back. It is fascinating. All right, enough about that. Let's talk about this McNeese baseball team, because they looked kind of left for dead in multiple stretches this season. And all of a sudden, a switch turned on, and they started playing to their potential, ending the regular season so strong, winning 4 straight, including sweeping previously good Northwestern State. They go into the conference tournament. They said, that's not a big deal. We'll just win 3 of 4 and win that side of the bracket, upsetting the host team along the way. And now they're 2 wins away starting today from unbelievably punching their ticket to an NCAA regional. How are they doing this?
I got no idea. No, I think that they found themselves. You know, it's easy. It's easy to look at it and say, well, it's only 2 weekends. But it's how they've had to win them. They had to go to Southeastern and win 2 of 3 from Southeastern, basically, because that's what it came down to.
Right.
And they've gotten great pitching along the way, especially from Eric Knockstreim, who threw 171 pitches last weekend and only gave up a couple of home runs, really, in a ballpark that the ball was flying out of. But when you can do that, that was an amazing performance to me more than anything. 12 innings at clutch time when it was absolutely needed. I think that was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. But I also think that this team found a little bit of an identity in a lineup that now works, and they found power in a guy from Isaiah Keller that wasn't playing early in the year, and he's hit 12 home runs in basically 100 at-bats, and that has kind of lengthened the lineup and made it to where it is now 1 through 9 instead of a first half, second half.
Give me your thoughts on how good of a job Justin Hill has done with this squad. Because, look, the program's dipped a little bit in the last couple years, as all programs do. All programs cycle through, right? You're up at the top of the conference. You're competing for conference championships. You're going to NCAA regionals. And then you just take a turn. And you and I discussed that he had the team that just fell short at home in the conference championship series. And the next year, they brought back so many of those guys, and then the chemistry was off. And they've been kind of just the last couple years.
Yeah.
just give me your thoughts as someone who covers this team, the coaching job that Hill has done with this year's team in particular.
He's kept it together with. I think he's taken over more of a demanding role at times. I think this group has tested him in a lot of ways, where he's had to actually be more authoritative against them at times. I think there's been a lot of stuff now that they're working through NIL and other deals that kind of drives teams apart, that he's kept them together. But this has been the creative way of how he's manipulated a pitching staff with three guys that he was counting on never to really throw baseballs this year. And the way that he's had to go through two or three different lineups because of the injury, really to Bryce Fontenot was the big one. A couple of guys that did not play up to their capabilities this year that was anticipated. I think he's had to remold this two or three different times, and that's been the amazing part about it.
We're talking with the adorable one, Jim Gazole of the Lake Charles American Press. I mean, you said it was the word of the day, so I decided to roll with it. I want to ask you about softball real quick because they were able to get into regional play. They had to go play the College Station Regional, which was, in and of itself, is a success. They didn't play their best ball, though. They ended up going 0-2 drop. What were some of your big takeaways from the two losses against Arizona State and UConn last weekend?
I think the biggest takeaway was that they just didn't have that one pitcher that could go out and win 1-0 or something with the big ones and throws the hard. And that is going to be the one thing at the mid-major level that is really hard to get, is to get the dominant pitcher that wins games, because that's the one that costs the money. But that, I thought we knew that going in. I thought their offense would have been better. They got 8 walks against UConn, but couldn't score runs. They had the first inning of the first game, they get a hit, they get 3 singles in a row, but they have a base running error that costs them a double play when one of the runners overruns the base. And it was like that was the moment where, wow, they're actually hitting the ball like we expect, and then it fell apart. I think that was the big thing, was their inability to knock in runs during the tournament, and really the biggest problem all year long was they gave up a lot of long balls, a record number of home runs, because they didn't have the pitcher that misses bats. So those are the two things that they ran into.
It felt like watching the tail end of this season that Jada Munoz was one of the few bright spots offensively, especially last weekend, because she had one of the 5 hits. It came to 5 different batters in that Arizona State game, but she was the one that scored the lone run, hitting that home run over the left field wall, as she had done not only against UConn, but also had done all throughout the Southland Conference tournament to help them punch their ticket.
Yeah, she played really she's interesting is she had a really good start. I think she hits 5 or 6 home runs right off the bat. Then, like the team itself, they had this big lull. And I think this team, during the middle of the year, a lot of it was young, had to figure out once they got to number 17 in the country in RPI and they were getting all the attention, kind of had to learn how to win and win with and still stay focused. I think they lost some focus. And I thought that she especially, but the rest of the team gained their focus at the end of the year. I think the tournament was just, they got a bad seed because I think Arizona State is really good. Obviously they won on the road and won a regional. That I think game was a tough one for them to begin with, but they had numerous chances to score against Arizona State early and didn't. They had chances to score against UConn and didn't. And that was something they did in the year. At the end of the year, is they scored when they had chances. They got the big hits. They didn't get them in the tournament.
Let me go back to baseball with you for a couple more minutes before we let you go. When it comes to this Lamar series, it's going to be in Beaumont, so they don't have the comfort of being back at home at Joe Miller Ballpark. But when you look at what had happened last weekend and how good they've been as of late, that Southland Conference tournament bracket play, the bats were absolutely on fire. The fact that they will now have about a week off before they resume, do you feel like the offense is kind of going to revert back to the mean and we're not going to see 8, 9, 10, 11 plus runs like we had seen all last weekend against Nichols and Southeastern?
Well, I think the biggest thing is you look at the two fields. Southeastern plays small. It is a small field. Lots of runs are scored. Wind blows out. It is the exact opposite in Beaumont. It is a bigger park. Lamar has one of the better pitching staffs. They have the pitcher of the year going probably tonight in Oliver. It is going to be a small ball game. And I don't think they can count on big runs. They're going to have to manufacture runs. I think you're going to look at more like 4 3s, 5 4s than you did when we saw 15 13s. So can they play and adjust to that kind of game, and can their pitching hold up? Because occasionally their pitching walks people. You cannot walk people in this series because you cannot make up runs as quickly. That's how I'm going to see it. And I think we're going to have to see how you manipulate your pitching staff, because I would imagine we're anticipating numerous rain delays this weekend.
How much are you factoring in what happened back in the middle of March when these two played a best 2 out of 3 series in Beaumont, where McNeese lost 2 out of 3, but in that Sunday game, I think that was just more of it just being a typical Sunday game where there was 21 combined runs between the two.
Yeah, I think it's going to be more like the first game that won extra, or the first couple of games that won extra innings and lots of low scoring. I think runs will be at a premium more than anything else. I don't look as much into that because so many things are different. McNeese has had 3 different leadoff hitters since then to try to find one. Dowell is now back in there, and he's doing a good job. I think they're going to have to use their small game, and I think they're going to have to run more in this series than they did. You could play station to station at Southeastern and wait for the 3-run homer. I mean, they got 3 home runs from Marcus Houston, who only had 1 going into the tournament. They got 4 from Keller. So there were a lot of home runs and a lot of able to make up for mistakes. You can't make mistakes in this series, I don't think. I think this is going to be a tight series.
When it's all said and done, do you have McNeese winning this series, though?
No.
Okay.
Probably not, but I do think that how he gets to, if they can win tonight without using knock time, it sets up really nice for them. That's why this is a big game, because I don't think he's going to come back and pitch tonight. Then they can even hold him even a day, or they can wait and use him in the last 4 innings of a close-out game if they can get that. Tonight is a huge game for them because they're not going to have their ace where Lamar is going to have their ace.
It's good stuff, as always, from the adorable one, Jim Gazzolo of the Lake Charles American Press.
The absolutely adorable one. If there's a Lake Charles American Press Awards for most adorable media personality in the Lake Chuck area, you would win it, my friend. Thank you for your time. Enjoy the holiday weekend.
I must be running unopposed then.
Enjoy lovely Beaumont, the former my former residence briefly for 2 years.
The stomping grounds of RP3.
Yes. Make sure to tell James Dixon I said hello, the SID there at Lamar. He's a good guy.
I will do that for you.
And also a fellow Brave fan, so we have that in common as well. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your time, Jim Gazzolo. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
We got to take a time out. When we come back, we'll wrap up today's show. We've had fun today. We'll wrap it up next.
This is RP3 and Meche, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Whether you're needing to get yourself a new or used handgun to help protect your family, or get yourself a new rifle or shotgun for hunting season, or maybe you're just running low on ammo, the place to go, of course, is our friends at Louisiana Gun Shop, located at 2927 Highway 90 East in Broussard. They're open Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. until 6 o'clock in the evening, and because they're a local business, they pride themselves on teaming up with a local finance company to help you with a layaway program. In addition to that, they're also offering classes. That's right. A concealed carry refresher class is being offered on May the 23rd. This is only for people who have to renew their license. And they're also going to be offering a full concealed carry class on June 27th. That's Louisiana Gun Shop, located at 2927 Highway 90 East in Broussard. Go see them today.
ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles is your home for the Houston Astros.
And the Astros stun the Mariners
Hunter Brown, Yordan Alvarez, and the rest of the Astros are looking to get back to the postseason. You can listen to every pitch, hit, and thrilling victory of the Houston Astros. Incredible! As Robert Ford and Steve Sparks will be on the call. Tune in this season for live Astros baseball on Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Before hitting the road, get hooked up at Match Trailers on Bertrand Drive. Everything you need from truck equipment, accessories, and trailer parts, Match Trailers has it. Match Trailers, 1849 Bertrand Drive in Lafayette, or give Matt a call at 235-7534.
Did you know you can get great tasting Clear Springs artesian water delivered to your office or your doorstep at home? Clear Springs is 100% local with their own bottling facility at the world-famous Kentwood Aquifer, no chemicals added. Just pure Kentwood, Louisiana artesian water. Clear Springs Water offers delivery of 5 or 3 gallon water service with a hot and cold temperature water cooler or even single-serve bottles delivered to your home or office. Easy to reach, clearsprings.net, then contact us tab or 337-519-3563. May is Military Appreciation Month, and ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles and Nolan's Lawnmower Sales and Service in Carencro will be honoring our military all month long. Nolan's is locally owned and supports our military community every day. We honor and salute because freedom isn't free. May is Military Appreciation Month, and we salute you. Powered by Nolan's Lawnmower Sales and Service in Carencro and ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles.
It's May, and spring is finally here. A time of growth, renewal, and hope. And what better time to kick off Mental Health Awareness Month? Johnwell Therapeutic Services are proud to highlight May as National Mental Health Month. Remember, it's okay to ask for help. Reach out to a friend, family member, or professional if you need support. It's okay to take things one step at a time. You're not alone. Johnwell Therapeutic Services, proud supporters of National Mental Health Month.
Delta Home Center and Delta Trailer Sales, your one-stop shop for utility and cargo trailers, heavy-duty dump and gooseneck trailers, portable buildings, cabins, decks, porches, fences, carports, and site-built metal shops. Located at Exit 7 in Carencro or at deltatrailersales.com.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
One enjoys eating hot dogs and watching baseball. The other loves eating sushi and playing yogurt U-card games. Not sure exactly what that is, but good for him, I guess. Anyway, back to more RP3 and Meche.
Oh, how about we take a moment to thank our 3 guests that joined us on this Thursday. Jamarcus Fitzpatrick from KATC to talk Raging Cajuns. Ron Higgins from the Shreveport-Bossier Journal to talk LSU Tigers. And then the great one, Jim Gazzolo of the Lake Charles American Press to talk all things McNeese. How about any new comments on our poll question of the day before we depart and pass the baton off to our guy, Dawson Iserloh?
As of right now, there's really nothing new when it comes to the comments. And we also, of course, can't give you much of an update because X is just giving us troubles. Yeah, that's it.
Great. That we finished strong. Finishing strong. I love it.
I wish I had updates for you.
I love it. How about, okay. How about something that you're going to be more enthusiastic about? Eastern Conference Finals Game 2 tonight, Cavs-Knicks. After the Cavs did a historic choke job, and credit New York for rallying and making those adjustments and attacking James Harden the way they did, especially Brunson. Who do you like to win Game 2? I feel like the Knicks are going to win Game 2 because I just think Game 1 is just a gutting way of losing, and I just don't know if Cleveland's strong enough mentally and physically after 2 back-to-back 7-game series to be able to have anything left in the tank. I could be wrong. Maybe they come up big. Maybe James Harden takes over and they tie up this series. What says you?
I'm going with New York on this one. I think Game 1, if you were going to steal one on the road to quote-unquote make it a series, you're going to have to do it in Game 1. They had the perfect opportunity to, and they blew it. You blew it. So at this point in time, I think the wind's kind of out of the sails. I think they'll get a little bit more life when they go back to Cleveland, but even then, I think they would at best win one of those. So once we would get back to New York in the Madison Square Garden, then it would be a 3-1 lead in favor of the Knicks. So I'm leaning towards New York to get this one done.
I agree with you as well. We'll be back on tomorrow, abbreviated, yes, because of Astros baseball, but we'll be here with you. We'll chop it up with you. So tune in tomorrow starting at 11. Up next is the Lowdown with the D-Lo right here on ESPN Southwest Louisiana Sports Station.
When it comes to the best boudin cracklins in Acadiana, just follow your nose to Billy's Boudin Cracklins. You know the original stuffed pepper jack boudin balls, award-winning boudin cracklins. But you gotta sink your teeth into their variety of fresh and smoked sausages. Stock up on the wide selection of specialty meats as well. They're available at all 4 locations of Billy's Boudin Cracklins: Opelousas, Scott, Lafayette. Or the Crot Springs location, now featuring a dine-in area with great burgers and much more cooked to order. Or visit online at billysboudin.com.
Everybody's talking about the big, beautiful bill, and it's game-changing for taxpayers. Hi, this is Kerry Bryson with the Bryson Law Firm. We've read the bill, and if you've been putting off a tax problem,